Okay. Okay, good morning, everybody. So let's start from page 101. Okay. So you wake up to Guru Rinpoche and the Dakas and Dakinis, inspiring you to wake up another day to engage in this accomplishment of Buddhahood, to bring all sentient beings to the state of perfect and complete awakening. Ke mai ke hu kalde re ke bo mare te mo wange manem ba. Zindru ngar ke dan dai yar long dai tong me dune da lai tu ke ba. Mare wange del yun de cho hinge dane manel gosum ke lai be. Ke gai na che dungai me she sam de ring zam ya ta pe go kai me. Drum lai zen ru ke ben de lai ban da re chi bu ten de drum de. Nyom le ngang lai de be de ma yin chi wai som la du pa ta ru ke. Tselai long me che gen sa me cha de tse me tsere deng she ma to na. Ke bui ke ni senpai je je rong che nam da me tong je che dan de. Ju mai me ju me lam zo ne dan je ze dong kere da cha da bu che. Chundai chuburoi migyuroi chunpai soi sheje chumai pechui dejendo. Kode chenam keke cheparai ge chenam raji kewa me pate. Neme game droi me pawo. Nede megme tsema me chen samje chan. Dende tombara jawe de lamba. Namo Guru Be, Namo Dewa Be, Namo Dake Be. Page 101. O alas, alas, fortunate child of Buddha nature, do not be oppressed by the forces of ignorance and delusion, but rise up now with resolve and courage. Entranced by ignorance from timeless beginning until now, you have had more than enough time to sleep, so do not slumber any longer. but strive after virtue with body, speech, and mind. Are you oblivious to the suffering of birth, old age, sickness, and death? There is no guarantee that you'll survive even past this very day. The time has come for you to develop perseverance in your practice, for at this singular opportunity you could attain the everlasting bliss of Buddhahood. So now is certainly not the time to sit idly, but starting with the reflection on death, you should bring your practice to completion. The moments of our life are not expendable, and the possible circumstances of death are beyond imagination. And if you do not achieve an undaunted confident security now, what point is there in your being alive, O fortunate being? All phenomena are selfless, empty, and free from conceptual elaboration. In their dynamic, they resemble an illusion, mirage, dream, or reflected image. A Gandharva city, an echo, a reflection of the moon in water, a bubble, an optical illusion, or an intangible emanation. You should know that all things of cyclic existence and nirvana accord in nature with these 10 similes of illusory phenomena. All phenomena are naturally unborn. They neither abide nor cease, neither come nor go. They are without objective referent or characteristics, ineffable and free from thought. The time has come for this truth to be realized. Homage to the Lama, homage to the Idam, homage to the Dakini. Namo Guru Bhe, Namo Deva Bhe, Namo Daki Bhe. So like that, make sure on page 103 that ultimately is struck off. Don't read that one. It's not helpful for us. All phenomena are selfless, not ultimately. It's even now, phenomena are selfless. Phenomena as we speak are empty and free from conceptual elaboration, not ultimately. If we use that word ultimately, then phenomena are relatively not selfless, not empty, and not free from conceptual elaboration. So therefore, we should remember that all phenomena are selfless, empty, and free from conceptual elaboration, even here and now, and every time like that. So in that inspiration, you wake up, and then you do the 9-round breathing, cleansing the breath. Make sure you make the Vajra fist correctly. Pinch the bend of your ring finger here, like that. Then press. Now, through both your nostrils. Breathe in and hold it for a while. Press your thighs, scrub your thighs with the back of your wrist. Done. Page 3. Om Ahu Chewam Ramye Le Join Mise Ne We Maranambe Dorje Tsesumbu Ale Kale Thakoro Tendre Ni Mute Tenwa Tambu Yigdru Le Tengewa Seche Chepene Larde Ngagre Dane Sondoroje Jinla Ngedru Tamche Tombara Juru Om Mahu, fire rising from rum syllable consumes my tongue, transforming it into a three-pronged vajra of red light. In its center are the vowels and consonants surrounded by the mantra, their sense of interdependent origination. From these syllables, like a string of pearls, light rays stream out, making offerings to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, pleasing them. As these rays return, all obscurations of my speech are purified, and I receive all the blessings and siddhis of Vajra speech. A a I u re re ni li e I o awanga ha ka ka ga ka nga cha cha ja da. Da 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 na da 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 na pa 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 ma ya ra la wa sha sa sa ha cha om ye dharma hetu prabhava. Hetun deshan datha gato haya vadata deshan jayo niroda. Evam vadi maha shramana swaha a I u re re le le e I o awangaha. Ka 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 nga cha 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 na da 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 na ta ta da da na pa 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 ma. Yara lava shasa saha cha om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetun deshan datha gato haya vadata. Deshan jayo nirodha evam vadi maha shramana swaha a I u re re le le e I o awangaha. Ka 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 ga nga cha 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 na da 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 na ta ta da da na pa 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 ma yara la wa sha sa sa cha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetun deshan datha gato haya vadata. Deshan jayo nirodha evam vadi maha shramana swaha I u re re le le e I o awangaha. Ka ka ga ga nga cha 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 na da 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 na ta ta da da na pa 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 ma ya ra la wa sha sa sa ha cha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetun deshan tatha gato haya vadata deshan jayo nirodha evam vadi maha shramana swaha. A I u re re le le e I o awangaha. Ka ka ga ga nga cha 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 na da 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 na ta ta da da na pa 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 ma ya ra la wa sha sa sa ha cha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetun deshan tatha gato haya vadata deshan jayo nirodha evam vadi maha shramana swaha. a a e e o o re re le le e ai o a wa nga ha ka 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 ga nga cha 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 na da 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 na ta ta da da na pa pa bha va ma ya ra la wa sha sa sa ha cha om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetu de shanta da ga to ha ya wa da ta te shancha yo niroda ye vam vadi maha shramana swaha a a e e o o re re le le e ai o a wa nga ha ka ka kha kha nga cha 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 na da tha tha da na ta tha tha da na pa pa bha ba ma ya ra la wa sha sa sa ha cha om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetu te shanta da ka to ha ya wa da ta te shancha yo niroda ye vam vadi ma sharmana so. Okay, page 17. Sorry, page 13. So once again, think of bringing all sentient beings to the state of perfect Buddhahood. To do so, I will engage in the ngondro of Longchen Nyingthig, and particularly here, I'll train myself in the 100-day retreat practice. So in order to accomplish that, I invoke the blessings of the Lama. Lama ke Lama ke Lama ke Nyingthig sarje pane changche drenche lama yar la le dan yen mo jabe zerwaye Kewang pa da la chompe che chiwara de chen korle jendo jo Dendang shi kun chang shen cu sen. O Lama, please think of me. O Lama, please think of me. O Lama, please think of me. From the blossoming lotus of devotion at the center of my heart, arise, O kind Lama, my only refuge, in order to protect me, the miserable, unfortunate one, who is overwhelmingly tormented by karma and mental affliction. I pray that you remain as the jewel ornament on the crown chakra of great bliss, arousing all of my mindfulness and awareness. Gizom zange dam jege ngo goje dane palden lama dambala sewa devsa. Dala wanguro jenge labdo sen zablam ge tobai ke para chenjula ke wara jenge labdo sen. Kada nelo ke tawa tombara jenge labdo sen. Lendo nanje yeshe tarjembar jenge labdo sen. I fervently supplicate to the glorious sacred Lama, the essence of all of the Buddhas of the three times, the embodiment of the four kayas. I pray that you grant me blessings and empowerments. I pray that you bless me so that the extraordinary realization of the profound path arises in me. I pray that you bless me to realize the view of the primordial purity of the abiding nature. I pray that you bless me to perfect the wisdom of the four visions of spontaneous presence. I fervently supplicate to the glorious sacred Lama, the essence of all of the Buddhas of the three times, the embodiment of the four kayas. I pray that you grant me blessings and empowerments. I pray that you bless me so that the extraordinary realization of the profound path arises in me. I pray that you bless me to realize the view of the primordial purity of the abiding nature. I pray that you bless me to perfect the wisdom of the four visions of spontaneous presence. Okay. Page 17. Dari ngerwai dayi dayi dindro dan tsirin la dan la lo lo ka chen sangen ma jen shing dan kukpa de mikom gele tarwe dalwa me jur wangbo sangda yul yun ke le tai ma lo den lai de ban de rang ni jorwa nga chan sange je che son den bai ne dan den lai Shinin dambe zindan shinjurong ay tamche rang la changwe ne toj. Ken mange ba me be tsepan ne jite par ne du semparaju. Lona chelche guru Lona chela jurje guru ken lamge member maton kun kenje. Nisu me do drenchen lama ken dare delten de ye manje Chine tarba drube tenme ne Tendre ten la senam zejurne chiwe wokto ngen son ngen rocha. Gede meshe cheke drame te gewe shedan meje tsangreche. Semchen samge dangdang rimba lai samna milu toba setatsa. Miyan che me deglai che ton nai che jen che ba nin me karma tsam. Lona che la jurje guru ken lamge membara maton kun genje. Nisu medo jinchen lama ken. Kalte mil rinchen lingchen yan luten zang la jurbo che yes. Tarba drula drube tendo miron shin kebara duke zindan dunga. Lengen toto babdan lelo yen shenke tenyo jikjo che tarache. Monso chejun kenge mekomge dala cheke galdara lapets. Lona chela jurche guru ken lamge membara maton kun kenche. Nisu medo tenchen lama ken. Choche chonjen debe nordan dre dese shabe chingdan kunche tsu. Mige degla mezem letalo domba nyamshin damse ralwat. Riche loye mekom namba ge dala chege galdara labes. Lona chela jurche guru ken lamge membara maton kun kenje. Niso medo jinchen lama ken tata nedan dunga gemas. Jenkel la so shenwa majuru pe rangwa tobe tender digdid. Nyomle ngandu del joro chuse na kordan longche nedo jewata. Tachi che para zungwe lude yang melge nangne sacho tongbarak. Wadan jage kiye drebe de bardo yulna jikba shintu che. Lona che la jurche guru ke namge membara maton kunge. Nisu medo jinchen lama ke gede leke nami che jin. Kepara nyewe jikde nese nae chase saje tsengi kolud. Shongle shodan tolon barwe tsere gome chakim tumbara wedo. Parve sejin gebo chochuru tse kunne tsawe mese getsenche. Kangre tokpo dabdan chukcha ke chongro yang en neso boyo che. Changre longi tabe langso ni chubro chendan lakpara dolwa che. Menga junmi chebara denpa yang tsorwe kdonga nakpara kawahi. Sungi rabdan chike ne bajen shorin donche sotam pakpak. Shawu tenne lakpara gete ge dejen pudre tangla kangpash. Rali tseldu lula jeto je ronyo damse talse ramen. Narwe ne koro wadan jurwa chen godan kaba tabdan takwas. Tatu gojin chebe ne tse wa namjan jobge gangle jungwe. Shedan drapo kunlong kebe tse lona chela jurche guru ken. Lamge membara madon gungenje nisu medo jinche lamak. Tejen pongla nyame gawe yu zadon longche miya medrap. Sekon lodara mine yidalu rechen danwe top nyam nambasum. Kangle jungwe junne serna ye. Chigla chigza sebe jikwa che kojin chebe nyamta langdormo. Pada mebe dunga gizrewe saben demo mumbara chambada. Lona chela jurche guru ken lamge memba maton kun kenje. Nisu medo jinchen lama ken chelam shukcha niche medomsh. Tekjen gojo shempen semdan je wangje topchan kezo megombe. Lamgil dile lame drildo se tawa mato tocho che bachen. Komba yangchan goyo wogo. Cheba norchan rangen mesembe chedre dilen lame draldose. Nangbara chiyan nege norla se naso yoyan ngejon choshed. Teba chunyan yenden jendo long mare dilen lame draldose. Ken kara choyan dize ne korosen wembara tenchan rangjo shingtarare. Dulwara maya chadam majikbe chege dilen lame draldose. Nito dilen yurdu sendose. Timundele nyurdo yongdo se. Okay, visualize the refuge tree. Konjo sumye deshe zawa sum zalon tingle ranjen jancho sem. Ngo ranjen tuje kel korola. Jancho ningbo bando janson che. Konjo sumye deshe zawa sum Zalun tele ranjen jancho sem. Ngo ranjen tuje kyo korola. Jancho nimbo bado janson che. Koncho sumye deshe zawa sum. Zalun tele ranjen jancho sem. Ngo ranjen tuje kyo korola. Janchu ningbo bardo jansun che. In the actual three jewels, the three root sugatas, in bodhicitta, the nature of channel, wind, and essence, and in the mandala of essence, nature, and compassion, I take refuge until attaining the heart of Buddhahood. In the actual three jewels, the three root sugatas, in bodhicitta, the nature of channel, wind, and essence, and in the mandala of essence, nature, and compassion, I take refuge until attaining the heart of Buddhahood. In the actual three jewels, the three root sugatas, in bodhicitta, the nature of channel, wind, and essence, and in the mandala of essence, nature, and compassion, I take refuge until attaining the heart of Buddhahood. Then bodhicitta. Ho na so na wa chunde zinre ke korwa lo go jodo chambe do. Rang re ye se yin so yin se chen. Se me je ye ngane sem ke do. Ho na so na wa chunde zinre ke korwa logo jodo chambendo rang re se yin so ngel se che se me je ye ngang ne sem ke do ho na so na wa chu de jin re ke korwa logo jodo chambendo rang re se yin so ngel se che Seme je ngane semkedo. Oh, the mesmerizing display of mirrored appearances, like a mirage of the moon in water. Beings grasping it as real wander continuously in samsara. To bring them to rest in the space of luminous intrinsic awareness, I generate bodhicitta through the four immeasurables. Oh, the mesmerizing display of mirrored appearances, like a mirage of the moon in water. Beings grasping it as real wander continuously in samsara. To bring them to rest in the space of luminous intrinsic awareness, I generate bodhicitta through the four immeasurables. Oh, the mesmerizing display of mirrored appearances, like a mirage of the moon in water. Beings grasping it as real wander continuously in samsara. To bring them to rest in the space of luminous intrinsic awareness, I generate bodhicitta through the four immeasurables. Then do Tonglen for a while. Give, you're giving as you breathe out. Then you visualize that they receive it. And then you take, you dissolve in great bodhicitta or great emptiness. Then finally dissolve all concept of subject, object, and action into non-conceptual great emptiness. And then you rest in basic space. Yes, finally I and all sentient beings dissolve together into the assembled objects of refuge. They dissolve into the Lama in the center, and then the Lama too dissolves into primordial basic space, the Dharmakaya, which is free from all extremes of elaboration. Then rest in meditation. Then Vajra Sattva. Dani Tamil Chiwo Rupe Garadawe Dengi Hongle Lama Dorje Sem Karse Longche Zombe Ku Dorje Dezen Nyamatel Kella Chapsa Dikpa Jon Jesen Drambe Torjen Sha Chinche Solai Ba Chang Don Kedon Dawai Gebe Hongye tamara ngake kor tepe ngake chukul. Yabyum de ro jor sam ne du tse jancho semke chen. Gabur dul dara zamba ye dadan semjen tamche ke. Ledan nemo dunga ju ne don dugdre. Ne den dugdre ne ton dre male janwarai ze do. Benzer Sado Samaya Mano Balaya Benzer Sado de Nomba Dersander Domeba Sudo Kayam Meba Subo Kayam Meba no Rato Meba Sarva Siddhi Mebraya Sarva Karma Suja Mejadam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tadagat Benzer Mame Munza Benzer Bama Samaya Mano Balaya Benzer Sado de Nomba Dersander Domeba Sudo Kayam Meba Subo Kayam Meba Anurado me bhava sarva siddhi me prayasa sarva karma suja me zadam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sarva tadagata benzer mame maj benzer bhava maha samaya santo om benzer santo samaya mano palaya benzer santo teno patisha dirdume Sudokhaya me bhava, Subhokhaya me bhava, Anurato me bhava, Sarva siddhi me prayatsa, Sarva karma sutta me chitam shriyam kuruhum, ha 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 bhagav. Sarva tata gata benzer mame manza benzer bhava maha samaya sato. Here when we are doing Vajra Sattva, you should concentrate on the meditation of the descent of the nectar. So, and then with that one, then the purification is happening, or you are purified. So, first of all, if you don't visualize with concentration, then you cannot focus on the descent of the nectar, and if the descent of the nectar is not there, then the purification cannot happen. So make sure you do that one. Page 47. Gombo dane meje mongba ye damze lene galjen yam lama gombe chamze che zo dorje zemba te tuje chembo dane chen Rūwe tsōnlai dāngcān chē kū sōn tōi tsāwān dāng yin lai kē dām tsē nyāmbā dām chē tōlōi shāng sō. Tīkpā dāng chē bā nē tōng chē mē sō dām chē chāng chē dāng pā rā tsē tō sō. Tōr chē sēn bā yé kē chēn dzōng bā dāng chē pē rē kē bō kē kē tīk chē nē tōng dām chē Taba yin no she na wa jin jin ye du shun ne rang la tin be gen le rang ni chan do je sen ba nang do me lo nang ge su den da bur ju be to so hong ge ta ma ra ye ge du she ba sen wa le ye zhe je be kam zum ne ju dang che ba dor sen ring en ten dan ten ba rang jin du sang ge pa ra ju Om Bajra Sadhu Om Benzo 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 sodom 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 benzo Om benzo sodom 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 benzo Om benzo sodom 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 benzo Om benzo sodom 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 benzo Om benzo sodom 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 benzo benzo sodom 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 benzo benzo sodom 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 benzo Om benzo sodom benzo sodom benzo sodom benzo sodom Om benzo sodom Then finally, Vajrasattva dissolves into the mantra dissolves into the Sid syllable, then the Sid syllable further dissolves from underneath and goes all the way above, and then even the pigtail finally dissolves into non-conceptual great emptiness. And then you rest in that state for a while. Again, bring in mind the refuge tree. In the presence of the refuge fields, and we make the mandala offering. Om Dong Zong Zhi Den Je War Cha Je Xin Ren Chen Na Den La Me Jol Pe Tam Da Le Long Je Che Ba Yong Bu Ge Che Ke Kor Lo Jur We Se Do Sho Omen De Chen Do Bu Ge Be Shin Ye Pa Nga De Ring E Tsong Bu Chi De Yen Che Be Zhen Po Sam Ye Pa Pe We Long Gu Sheng La Chen Pa Ra Sho Nangse namda shunu bumbe ko tuje maga chene rupegen. Kudan tile zimba namda je pyue che go shingla chembara sho. Page 55. Saje pechu jujin mendo jamri ram lingje nede gembade. Sangye shingdu mikde kulwa ye droken namda shingla chembara sho. Tram Guru Ratna Mandala Puja Mega Samudra Saparana Samaye. One more time in English. The earth's surface sprinkled with perfumed water and strewn with flowers and adorned with Mount Sumeru, the four continents, the sun and the moon, is visualized as a Buddha field I offer. May all beings enjoy in the pure realm of perfect purity. Tram Guru Ratna Mandala Puja Mega Samudra Sabharana Samaya. Kusali. Page 59. Le Chizem Borwe Lade Chom Sem Zangben Gone Yingla Haten. Chindage de Jon Tremara Ju Yenen Moe de Jon Trego Ge So Pongbo de Jom Teban de Yen Leje Tsuge Bendato. Kusum Ge Megwe Ge Borosha Nang Tong Sum Gangwe Bamro de. A Tong Dang Hang Ye de Zere Ju Drusum Ge Nube Jang Bel Jur Om Ma Ho Ma Ho Ma Ho Ma Ho Ma Ho Om Maho 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 Om Maho 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 Om Maho 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 Om Maho 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 Om Maho 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 Om Maho 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 Yar Chöye Denge Todam Kan Sozone Chodeng Roto Arkorwe Dene Lenchai Jan Ke Paradoi Neje Gegretsen Nedendam Barache Yung Su She Kengen Dai Dazen Duldo Hanok Tarache Jadai Che Malikun She Zoba Chembara Ma Che Then Guru Yoga. Maho Rana Lundu Dambai Rabjan Jin Kebai Rabzo Zando Peri Rani Jizen Dorje Naljora Mai Jerje Chane Marse Jitezen Shamne Dortai Jenzun Namkarazi Chiora Pema Bumde Nidete Chamne Kundu Zawe Lamadan Yerme tsoke dorje drube ko karmara dande shune shatsu chen pekas chege sabere domas shalche chani gebo rorbenta chaye dorje yembe tebom nam ulla dabde pemene jos chengu yenna de don yumcho na ma bebe tsulge katram tse sumna Chazire tigle wepon long na jo che koro nge dawe zebe long. Trube jeban nisho zanga dan jabe reze, jabe pendro reze yedamla. Khandro chechon damchen chindaratip seldon nyamne chenboy ngangdo sel. Honggen yugen nobjan san pema geser dongpo la. Yazen chogen odrobne pema june shesu da kordo khandro mambe kor. Kege jesu dai drupje jenge lapshe shekso se. Guru pema sinde hong hong uje yuge nobjan san pema geser dongpo la. Yatsen chogen odrumne pema junne shetso da kodo kandro mambengor. Kege jeso dai drupje jenge lopche shetso se. Guru pema sindi hong hong uje yuge nobjan tsam pema gesar dongpo la. Yatsen chogen odrumne pema junne shetso da kodo kandro mambengor. Kege jesu dai drupje jenge lapche shekso se guru pema se de hong. The Seven Branches, page 71. Shri dan le jenge dulne do number trube changze lo nge shan yu tre ting zin te nansi chebe changze Kozum mege lenam kun yuse cheguen ando shan denpa nike dupa Gezon kun lai jeye rang rikchen sumge dulja la tek sum che koro korwara kun. Jize korwa madon bara nyange meda shosu dep. Tizun sabe geza kun janchu chenpo juru. Page 71. Free, equal to the number of atoms in the universe, I multiply my body and offer prostrations. Through the power of samadhi, both real offerings and those mentally emanated, all appearances and possibilities are presented as the gesture offering. All non-virtuous karma of my body, speech, and mind are confessed in the luminous state of Dharmakaya. I rejoice in the accumulation of all virtue contained within the true truth. For the three types of beings to be tamed, I request you to turn the wheel of Dharma of the three yanas. Until samsara is emptied, I pray that you remain without passing into nirvana. All the roots of virtue accumulated in the three times, I dedicate as the cause for attaining supreme Buddhahood. One more time, page 71. Shri Dale Jingen Dunen Du Number Trumpe Chanse Lo Nge Shan Yu Tre Ting Zen Te Nansi Chenpe Chanjarab Kuzun Mege Lenam Kun Yu Se Che Guen Ngang Du Shan Tenpa Nike Dupa Yen Ge So Kun Lai Je Ye Ra Rikchen Sumge Doja La Tek Sum Che Koro Korwa Kun Jitse Korwa Madon Baranyange Medai Shosun Tizun Sabe Gesa Kun Janchu Chenpo Juro. Page 74. Jizen Guru Rinpoche Kene Sangye Tamche Ke Tuje Jinlai Dubebe Semje Yongge Genje Bo Le Dan Longche Lo Ning Zhang Teba Membara Kela Bul Dene Janchu Mato Barakido Lene Tomen Gun Jizen Chenpo Pejun Ken Dalai Resai Shenai Me Datai Dunge Nime Mize dunga damdu jing dile chobshe maha guru wanje kurche jen lache toba borje tuje chen jimne jongshen nu tu chen. Page 74. O Guru Rinpoche, precious Lama, you are the glorious embodiment of the compassion and blessings of all the Buddhas, the only protector of all sentient beings. My body, wealth, lungs, heart, and chest, I offer to you without hesitation. From now until I attain Buddhahood, in happiness or sorrow, in circumstances good or bad, in situations high or low, great precious Lama, lotus born, think of me. I have no one else to turn to. The beings of these degenerate times are sinking in the swamp of unbearable suffering. Protect us from all of these, O great Guru. Grant us the four empowerments, O Blessed One. Deepen our realization, O Compassionate One. Purify the two obscurations, O Powerful One. One more time. Page 74. Jitsen Guru Rinpoche Kene Sangye Tamje Ke Tuje Jinlai Dubebe Semje Yongge Gwenje Bo Le Dan Longche Lo Ningda Teba Membare Kela Buldene Jansho Matoba Kido Lene Tome Gwenje Zen Chenpo Pejun Ken Dala Resai Shenai Tata dunge nyingme dro mize dunge damdu jindale chopshe maha guru. Wangje kurche jin lai chen tokpa por chen tu je chen. Timne jongshe nu tu chen. Oma hum benza guru pema sinde huma hum benza guru pema. Oma hum benza guru pema sinde oma hum benza guru pema sinde oma hum benza guru. Om Benza Guru Pema Sini 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 Om Benza Guru Om Benza Guru Om Benza Guru Om Benza Guru Pema Sini Om Benza Guru 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 Om Benza Om Benza Guru 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 Bima Sadi 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 Om Benza Guru Bima Sadi. Page 77. Maho jaje cholon drewe shingam dambo sangye chegu kondo zan longo chude rozel dorje se. Chugu zenzo gara dorje la sewa de so jen la wangur ze shire singha dendam chege ze. Jambe shene tegu korlo jur jana sutra penchen bima lara sewa de so dorje lamna te. Zambu lingi jenje pema junge baratuke secho je bandro tu tere janso dadro longchen shang kandro yingze kamba jingme ling selwa devso jebu todro tsa chinle wazare gilwe nyugu dan padro kenze natso randro tse chege lodre kenze wazare dan kadrin dame zawe lama la selwa deso nilo ranjil Silenge para jungwe shenlo ge dorje nama dende mikshinde. Chizun kadro zame nyamlen la temcha mebe drupso sherek. Tuju gombe jinla pogara sho nangsi korde yene omej. Tanga che goro dagzo minpe je pangla jaze me para zombach. Shenam yeche lende rikpe dan chini ngonsum jen para tongara sho. Tseme domba namro jazerembo kodan tigle nyamnang kondu pe rikse longkwe shingam tsela pe. Cheze lode chemboro sangye te shunu bumgoro tense zembarashu. Shindu neljoro nyamo matsunde rale dama yinso madrona. Namje tseye duje tongwe tse chiwa yose kada che kurusha. Pado na cha longkoro zokoro je tekche tenge namge tsenzone. Mabam bojo taburon dro warsho sanche yose tekwa choge tse. Sangye shenne me tse che kuishe ngonjoro deme sala madrona. Magon sangye chenge lamcho tu tenne ranje drube shingada. Kepara pema yuke podando rikzen jansoi tsosho u genje. Sanchen cheke gaten ge pesa seke toro kene u yonte. Taye drowe ner tsoron dan juro hensho. Rikzen gyawa janso jenlab dan cheyen same chabe tenbaye. Del juro ten la zome jansum ge tenre ngon juro sange to parasho. For empowerment. Guru Menzam Ne Omye Chosha Tabara Tsarwa Leva Zarate Rangi Chewo Ne Sho Leke Ledan Tsaye Jimbanda Ku Ndorje Jinla Sho Bumbe Wang To Kerim Ge Nedo Joro Name Rekzen Ge Sawen Tep Chuku Gopang Tobe Kawa Jo La From the letter Om, radiant like a crystal at the Lama's forehead, the rays of light stream forth and enter my forehead, purifying negative actions of the body and obscurations of the channels. The blessing of Vajra body is infused. The vase empowerment is received, and I become a receptive vessel for the generation stage. The seed of the completely mature Rigzin is sown, and the fortune to attain the state of nirmana kaya is established within my mind. Jimbane aye pema raga tara barwa le wezerete range jimbane shu ngage le dan lunge jimbanda sun dorje jenla shu sangwe wang to deje ge nedu juro tsewa rekzen ge sawen tep longche zoku gopange kyawa ju la Page 85, 3 lines from bottom. From the letter R, blazing like a ruby at the Lama's throat, rays of light stream forth and enter my throat, purifying negative actions of the speech and obscurations of the inner wind. The blessing of Vajra speech is infused. The secret empowerment is received, and I become a receptive vessel for the practice of mantra recitation. The seed of the Rigzin with power over life is sown, and the fortune to attain the state of Sambhoga Kaya is established within my mind. Tuke hongye namke dojen le wezere te range ningai ne shu ike le dan tigle driba da tu dorje jen lai shu shera ye sheke wan to de ton zanda le ne do joro chaja rizenge sawen te chego gopange kyawa jo la ja. From the sky-colored letter Hung at the Lama's heart, rays of light stream forth and enter my heart, purifying negative actions of the mind and obscurations of the essence. The blessing of Vajra mind is infused. The wisdom empowerment is received, and I become a receptive vessel for the Zendali practice of bliss and emptiness. The seed of the Mahamudra Rigzin is sown, and the fortune to attain the state of Dharmakaya is established within my mind. Lare yang tuke hongle honye neba je karda pangba shindu che rangsem dan thade me barade kunje le dan sheje de ba jang yeshe dorje jenla sho tsege tsemba dendam ge wang top kada zoba chembe ne do joro lundo rezenge sawente Tartuge Debo Ngo Niku Gopange Kawa Julai Shago. Page 87, two lines from bottom. Once more from the letter hung at the Lama's heart, a second hung streaks out like a shooting star, merging inseparably with my mind, purifying the karma of the all-ground and conceptual obscurations. The blessing of Vajra wisdom is infused. The ultimate symbolizing word empowerment is received, and I become a receptive vessel for the Dzogpa chamber of primal original purity. The seed of the spontaneously accomplished Rigzin is sown, and the fortune to attain the state of Savabhavikakaya, the final fruition is established within my mind. Okay, now the mind training. Page 105. The Zom Sangen Tam Jeging O Kuje Dani Panden Lama Damba La Sewa Demso Tala Wangoro Jenge Labdos Zablam Ge Tobai Ke Barajen Julai Ke Wara Jenge Labdos Kada Nilo Ge Tawa Dombara Jenje Labdos Tundro Nanje Yeshe Tarchen Bara Jenje Labdos I fervently supplicate to the glorious sacred Lama, the essence of all of the Buddhas of the three times, the embodiment of the four kayas. I pray that you grant me blessings and empowerments. I pray that you bless me so that the extraordinary realization of the profound path arises in me. I pray that you bless me to realize the view of the primordial purity of the abiding nature. I pray that you bless me to perfect the wisdom of the four visions of spontaneous presence. And likewise, you can insert here. I pray that you grant your blessings to realize how precious this human birth is. So those kind of, and then similarly, when you are doing impermanence, then you can I supplicate or I pray that you bless me to realize uh, how impermanent this human or precious human body is, like that. Okay, now page 106. Daljoro dine shindo nepar ka kebu dendro tombara jurbala galte della impemba madrum na chine yanda jorba gala. With these freedoms and advantages so hard to find, a person can attain enlightenment. If one does not take advantage of them now, how will one so well obtain them in the future? Okay. Then page 116, 116. Motivation. Simjen tamje dunga juden hidan dralde zombe sange ge gopang to barja deye che dunge derjarane parakawa gombara ge ho. I shall meditate on the difficulty of finding the freedoms and advantages, so that all sentient beings can be free from suffering and its cause and attain perfect Buddhahood. Then, page 117. Juzen lama miba mibe tuje chenpo dan denpa namlai cha lo. Venerable teachers, whose compassion is infinite and unconditional, I prostrate myself before you all. Gyawa gomba rizin daye jo ganzai mille kyalpa rabjurpa. Dambe jezin dene tarchen bai jusun lama namlai chanze lo. Conquerors of the mind lineage, with the adhara of the symbol lineage, most fortunate of ordinary beings who, guided by the enlightened ones, have attained the twofold goal. Teachers of the three lineages, I prostrate myself before you. Cheze londu che gui gongba ne we se yin su long gui shing nang ze. Dulje nangoro tru gui ro den ze kun ken che ke gyambo la cha tsen. In the expanse where all phenomena come to exhaustion, you encountered the wisdom of Dharmakaya. In the clear light of empty space, you saw Sambhogakaya Buddha fields appear. To work for beings' benefit, you appeared to them in Nirmanakaya form. Omniscient sovereign of Dharma, I prostrate myself before you. Kimbe shejai kunge dene ze tuze uze duje bandusha. Sablam tezen temban zen zenba. Rizin jingme lingba lai cha zen. In your wisdom, you saw the true nature of whatever can be known. The light of your love beamed the benefit upon all beings. You elucidated the teachings of the profound path, summit of all vehicles. Rigzen Jigme Lingpa, I prostrate myself before you. Chenre Zinwan Shenne Tsuzun Ne Sungye Nangwe Dretze Tarlamge. Gangla Gangdu Zeba Tayeba Dinchen Zawe Lama La Cha Tse. You were Lord Avalokeshwara himself in the form of a spiritual friend. Whoever heard you speak was established on the path to freedom. To fulfill all beings' needs, your activity was infinite. Gracious root teacher, I prostrate myself before you. So in here, if you know any verses of supplicating to your Lama, for example, when I do my practice, I will always supplicate to Chabje Dujun Rinpoche, and then to Chabje Tungsa Trilenobu Rinpoche, and then to Chabje Jadar Rinpoche, like that. And then we have in our practices those four stanzas, meaning there are three stanzas. So one stanza for Chabje Dujun Rinpoche, another one for Chabje Dungsa Trilenobu Rinpoche, and another one for Chabje Jadar Rinpoche. If you like to add that one, and if you have your own Lama's supplication, you could add here like that. That's how you invoke the blessing of the Lama. And then now you can read the text. So, okay, we'll again spend 15 minutes in reading and 15 minutes in placement meditation.
그거 집에 되는 말이지. 그거 집에 되는 말.
땡. 맨날에 참선자들면 일단 뭐 못해요. 함께 중고소다 쳐고요. 나.
Okay, now placement meditation. Whatever you read and understood, bring it to your experience and then supplicate to the Lama, and then may that altruistic intention through renunciation arise, things like that, and then rest in that state in meditation. Page 119. Delwa Toljan Ningbo Cheke Will Chengoro Shokchan Chemen Chebe Yang Dadan Dadra Mombe Semchen Nom Del Joro Ningbo Lembara Jenge Lo. Page 119 again. Although I have owned these freedoms, I am poor in dharma, which is their essence. Although I have entered the dharma, I am distracted doing other things. Bless me and all those foolish beings like me, that we may attain the very essence of the freedoms and advantages. Okay, now once again, bring in mind the refuge assembly, and then in their presence, we all, along with all sentient beings, take refuge. Lama la jamsun chi wo sange la jamsun chi wo chen la jamsun chi wo genden la jamsun chi wo Lama la jamsun chi wo sange la jamsun chi wo chen la jamsun chi wo genden la jamsun chi Lama la jamsu chi wo sangye la jamsu chi wo chen la jamsu chi wo genda la jamsu chi Lama la jamsu chi wo sangye la jamsu chi wo chen la jamsu chi wo genda la jamsu chi Lama la jamsu chi wo sangye la jamsu chi wo chen la jamsu chi wo genda la jamsu chi wo Lama la jamsu chi wo sangye la Namala Jamsa Cho Sangila Jamsa Cho Chenla Jamsa Cho Gendala Jamsa Cho Namala Jamsa Cho Sangila Jamsa Cho Chenla Jamsa Cho Gendala Jamsa Cho Namala Jamsa Cho Sangila Jamsa Namala Jamsa Cho Sangila Jamsa Cho Chenla Jamsa Cho Gendala Jamsa Cho Namala Jamsa Cho Sangila Jamsa Cho Chenla Jamsa Cho Gendala Jamsa Cho Namala Jamsa Cho Sangila Amala Jamsa Cho Sangala Jamsa Cho Chala Jamsa Cho Gendala Jamsa Cho Lamala Jamsa Cho Sangala Jamsa Cho Chala Jamsa Cho Gendala Jamsa Cho Lamala Jamsa Cho Sangala Jamsa Cho Chala Jamsa Cho Gendala Jamsa Cho Lamala Jamsa Cho Sangala Jamsa Cho Chala Jamsa Cho Gendala Jamsa Cho Lamala Jamsa Cho Sangala Jamsa Cho Chala Jamsa Cho Gendala Jamsa Cho Lamala Jamsa Cho Sangala Jamsa Cho Chala Jamsa Cho Gendala Lama la jamsa cho sangya la jamsa cho chala jamsa cho genda la jamsa cho lama la jamsa cho sangya la jamsa cho chala jamsa cho genda la jamsa cho lama la jamsa cho sangya la jamsa cho chala jamsa cho genda la jamsa cho lama la jamsa cho sangya la jamsa cho chala jamsa cho genda la jamsa cho lama la jamsa cho sangya la jamsa cho chala jamsa cho genda la jamsa Lama la jamsa cho sangya la jamsa cho chala jamsa cho genda la jamsa cho lama la jamsa cho sangya la jamsa cho chala jamsa cho genda la jamsa cho lama la jamsa cho sangya la jamsa cho chala jamsa cho genda la jamsa cho lama la jamsa cho sangya la jamsa cho chala jamsa cho genda la jamsa cho lama la jamsa cho sangya la jamsa cho chala jamsa cho genda la jamsa cho lama la jamsa cho sangya la jamsa cho chala jamsa cho genda la jamsa cho Lama la jamsa cho sangya la jamsa cho chala jamsa cho genda la jamsa cho lama la jamsa cho sangya la jamsa cho chala jamsa cho genda la jamsa cho lama la jamsa cho sangya la jamsa cho chala jamsa cho genda la jamsa cho lama la jamsa cho sangya la jamsa cho chala jamsa cho genda la jamsa cho lama la jamsa cho sangya la jamsa cho chala jamsa cho genda la jamsa cho lama la jamsa cho sangya la jamsa cho chala Lama la jamsa cho sangya la jamsa cho chala jamsa genda la jamsa lama la jamsa sangya la jamsa chala jamsa genda la jamsa lama la jamsa sangya la jamsa chala jamsa genda la jamsa lama la jamsa sangya la jamsa chala jamsa genda la jamsa lama la jamsa sangya la jamsa chala lama la jamsa sangya jamsa chala jamsa genda la jamsa lama la jamsa sangya la jamsa chala jamsa genda la jamsa lama la jamsa sangya la jamsa chala jamsa genda la jamsa lama la jamsa sangya la jamsa chala jamsa genda la jamsa lama la jamsa sangya la jamsa chala jamsa genda Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen 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 Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen Lamal 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 Jomsen Sangre Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen 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 Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Gendel Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen 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 Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Gendel 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 Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Gendel 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 Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Gendel 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 Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen 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 Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen 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 Lamal Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen 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 Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre 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 Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Gendel 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 Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Gendel 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 Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen Chenla Jomsen Gendel Chenla Jomsen Gendel Jomsen Lamal Jomsen Sangre Jomsen 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 Lamla Jabsa Sangla Jabsa Chala Jabsa Yanal Jabsa 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 Lamla Jabsa Chala Jabsa Chala Jabsa Yanal Jabsa Lamla Jabsa Sangla 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 Jabsa Chala Lam Jabsa Sangla Jabsa Chala Jabsa Yanal Jabsa Lamla 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 Jabsa Sangla Jabsa Chala Jabsa Yanal Chala Jabsa Yanal Jabsa Lamla Jabsa Sangla Jabsa 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 Chala Jabsa Lamla Jabsa Sangla Jabsa Chala Jabsa Yanal 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 Chala Jabsa Yanal Jabsa Lamla Jabsa Sangla Jabsa 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 Chala Jabsa Yanal Lamla Jabsa Sangla Jabsa Chala Jabsa Yanal Jabsa 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 Lamla Jabsa Lamla Jabsa Sangla Jabsa Chala Jabsa Yanal 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 Lamla Jabsa Sangla Jabsa Chala Jabsa Yanal Jabsa 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 Lamla Jabsa Sangla Jabsa Chala Jabsa Lamla Jabsa Sangla Jabsa Chala Jabsa Yanal 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 Lamla Jabsa Sangla Jabsa Chala Jabsa Yanal Jabsa 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 Lamla Jabsa Lamla Jabsa Sangla Jabsa Chala Jabsa Yanal 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 Jabsa Lamla Jabsa Sangla Lamla Jabsa Sangla Jabsa Chala Jabsa Yanal Jabsa 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 Lamla Jabsa Sangla Jabsa Chala Jabsa Lamla Jabsa Sangla Jabsa Chala Jabsa Yanal 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 Jabsa Lamala Jobse, Sangla Jobse, Chala Jobse, Gendala Jobse, 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 Lamala Jobse, Lamala Jobse, Sangla Jobse, Chala Jobse, Gendala 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 Jobse, Lamala Jobse, Sang Lamala Jobse, Sangla Jobse, Chala Jobse, Gendala Jobse, 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 Lamala Jobse, Longchen Sangla Jobse, Chala Jobse, Gendala Jobse, Lamala Jobse, 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 Sangla Jobse, Chala Jobse, Lamala Jobse, Sangla Jobse, Chala Jobse, Gendala 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 Jobse, Lamala Jobse, Sangla Jobse, Chala Jobse, Lamala Jobse, Sangla Jobse, Chala Jobse, Gendala 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 Jobse, Lamala Jobse, Sangla Jobse, Chala Jobse, Lamala Jobse, Sangla Jobse, Chala Jobse, Gendala 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 Lamala Jobse, Sangla Jobse, Chala Jobse, Gendala Jobse, 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 Lamala Jobse, Sangla Lam Jobse, Sangla Jobse, Chala Jobse, Gendala Jobse, Lamala 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 Jobse, Lam Jobse, Sangla Jobse, Chala Jobse, Gendala Jobse, Lamala 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 Jobse, Lam Jobse, Sangla Jobse, Chala Jobse, Gendala Jobse, Lamala 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 Jobse, Sangla Jobse, Chala Jobse, Gendala Jobse, Lam Jobse, Sangla Jobse, Chala Jobse, Gendala Jobse, Lamala 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 Jobse, Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Yendal Jumsa 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 Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Yendal Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Yendal Jumsa 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 Lama Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Yendal Jumsa 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 Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Yendal 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 Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Yendal Jumsa 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 Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Yendal Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Yendal Jumsa 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 Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Yendal Jumsa 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 Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Yendal Jumsa 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 Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Chana Jumsa Yendal Jumsa Lama Jumsa Sang 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 Jumsa Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Yendal 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 Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Yendal Jumsa 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 Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Yendal Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Yendal Jumsa 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 Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Yendal Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Yendal Jumsa 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 Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Yendal Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Yendal Jumsa 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 Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Jumsa Yendal Jumsa 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 Lama Jumsa Sang Jumsa Chana Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Jatsa 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 Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Jatsa 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 Chala Jamsa Gendal Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang 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 Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Jatsa Lam Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal 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 Jatsa Lam Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal 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 Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Jatsa 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 Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Jatsa 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 Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Jatsa 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 Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Jatsa 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 Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Chala Jamsa Gendal Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa 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 Chala Jamsa Gendal Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Jatsa 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 Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Jatsa 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 Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Jatsa 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 Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Jatsa 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 Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Jatsa 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 Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Jatsa 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 Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Jatsa 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 Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamsa Gendal Chala Jamsa Gendal Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa 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 Chala Jamsa Gendal Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jamting Chala Chanda Gina Chanda Lama Chanda San Chanda 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 Chala Chanda Chala Chanda Gina Chanda Lama Chanda San 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 Chanda Chala Chanda Gina Chanda Lama Chanda Lama Jatsa San Jatsa Chala Jatsa Gina Jatsa 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 Lama Jatsa San Jatsa Chala Jatsa Lama Jatsa San Jatsa Chala Jatsa Gina 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 Chala Jatsa Gina Jatsa Lama Jatsa San Jatsa 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 Chala Jatsa Gina Chala Jatsa Gina Jatsa Lama Jatsa San Jatsa 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 Lama Jatsa San Jatsa Chala Jatsa Gina 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 Jatsa Lama Jatsa San Jatsa Chala Chala Jatsa Gina Jatsa Lama Jatsa San Jatsa 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 Chala Jatsa Gina Chala Jatsa Gina Jatsa Lama Jatsa San Jatsa 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 Chala Lama Jatsa San Jatsa Chala Jatsa Gina Jatsa 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 Lama Jatsa San Jatsa Chala Jatsa Chala Jatsa Gina Jatsa Lama Jatsa San 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 Jatsa Lama Jatsa San Jatsa Chala Jatsa Gina 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 Jatsa Lama Jatsa Lama Jatsa San Jatsa Chala Jatsa Gina Jatsa Lama Jatsa San Jatsa Chala Jatsa Gina Jatsa Lama Jatsa Lama Jatsa San Jatsa Chala Jatsa Gina 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 Jatsa Lama Jatsa San Jatsa Chala Lama Jatsa San Jatsa Chala Jatsa Gina Jatsa 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 Lama Jatsa San Jatsa Chala Jatsa Chala Jatsa Gina Jatsa Lama Jatsa San 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 Lama Jatsa San Jatsa Chala Jatsa Gina Jatsa 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 Lama Jatsa San Jatsa Chala Jatsa Gina Lama Jatsa San Jatsa Chala Jatsa Gina Jatsa 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 Lama Jatsa San Jatsa Chala Lama Jatsa San Jatsa Chala Jatsa Gina Jatsa 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 Lama Jatsa Lama Jasa Sang Jasa Chana Jasa Gina Jasa 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 Lama Jasa Sang Jasa Chana Jasa Gina Chana Jasa Gina Jasa Lama Jasa Sang Jasa 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 Chana Jasa Chana Jasa Gina Jasa Lama Jasa Sang 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 Jasa Chana Jasa Gina Jasa Lama Jasa Lama Jasa Sang Jasa Chana Jasa Gina 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 Jasa Lama Jasa Sang Jasa Chana Jasa Chana Jasa Gina Jasa Lama Jasa Sang 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 Jasa Chana Jasa Gina Lama Jasa Sang Jasa Chana Jasa Gina Jasa 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 Lama Jasa Sang Jasa Chana Jasa Gina Chana Jasa Gina Jasa Lama Jasa Sang Jasa 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 Lama Jasa Sang Jasa Chana Jasa Gina 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 Jasa Lama Jasa Lama Jasa Sang Jasa Chana Jasa Gina 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 Jasa Lama Jasa Sang Jasa Chana Jasa Lama Jasa Sang Jasa Chana Jasa Gina 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 Chana Jasa Gina Jasa Lama Jasa Sang Jasa 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 Chana Jasa Gina Jasa Lama Jasa Lama Jasa Sang Jasa Chana Jasa Gina 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 Lama Jasa Sang Jasa Chana Jasa Gina Jasa 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 Lama Lama Jasa Sang Jasa Chana Jasa Gina Jasa 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 Lama Jasa Sang Jasa Chana Jasa Gina Lama Jasa Sang Jasa Chana Jasa Gina Jasa 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 Lama Jasa Sang Jasa Chana Jasa Gina Lama Jasa Sang Jasa Chana Jasa Gina Jasa 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 Lama Jasa Sang Jasa Chana Jasa Gina Lama Jasa Sang Jasa Chana Jasa Gina Jasa 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 Lama Jasa Sang Jasa Chana Jasa Lamjata Sanjata Chala Jundagina Jota 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 Lamjata Sanjata Chala Jundagina Chala Jundagina Jota Lamjata Sanjata 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 Chala Jundagina Chala Jundagina Jota Lamjata Sanjata 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 Chala Lamjata Sanjata Chala Jundagina Jota 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 Lamjata Sanjata Chala Jundagina Lamjata Sanjata Chala Jundagina Jota 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 Lamjata Lamjata Sanjata Chala Jundagina Jota 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 Lamjata Sanjata Chala Chala Jundagina Jota Lamjata Sanjata 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 Chala Jundagina Jota Lamjata Lamjata Sanjata Chala Jundagina Jota 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 Lamjata Sanjata Lamjata Sanjata Chala Jundagina Jota 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 Lamjata Sanjata Chala Jundagina Lamjata Sanjata Chala Jundagina Jota 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 Lamjata Sanjata Lamjata Sanjata Chala Jundagina Jota 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 Lamjata Sanjata Chala Jundagina Chala Jundagina Jota Lamjata Sanjata 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 Chala Jundagina Jota Lamjata Lamjata Sanjata Chala Jundagina Jota 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 Lamjata Lamjata Sanjata Chala Jundagina Jota 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 Lamjata Lamjata Sanjata Chala Jundagina Jota 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 Lamjata Sanjata Chala Lamjata Sanjata Chala Jundagina Jota 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 Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Janting in the Jatsa Lama Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the John Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the John Lam Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson. Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson. Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson. Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson. Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson. Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson. Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson. Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson. Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson, and the Johnson, Lam Johnson, Son Johnson, Chandler Johnson. Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding Lam Jatsa Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Ding and Jatsa Lam Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jam Lama Jatsa Sang Jatsa Chala Jatsa Gendala Jatsa Chala Mala Jatsa Chewa Sangya La Jatsa Chewa Chala Jatsa Chewa Gendala Jatsa Chewa Lama La Jatsa Chewa Sangya La Jatsa Chewa Chenla Jamsu Chu, Gendanla Jamsu Chu, Lamala Jamsu Chu, Sangala Jamsu Chu, Chenla Jamsu Chu, Gendanla Jamsu Chu. Page 114. Kunjo Zumye de Shen Zawa Zum Zalon Tele Ranjen Jancho Sem Ho Ranjen Toje Gelgora La Jancho Ningbo Bando Jamsun Je Kunjo Zumye de Shen Zawa Zum Zalon Tele Ranjen Jancho Ngo Ranjen Toje Gelgora La Jancho Ningbo Bando Jamsun Je Kunjo Zumye de Shen Zawa Zum Zalon tegle ranjen chancho sen wo ranjen tuje kelkorla chancho nimbo bando chansu chi. In the actual three jewels, the three root sugatas, in bodhicitta, the nature of channel, wind, and essence, and in the mandala of essence, nature, and compassion, I take refuge until attaining the heart of Buddhahood. In the actual three jewels, the three root sugatas, in bodhicitta, the nature of channel, wind, and essence, and in the mandala of essence, nature, and compassion, I take refuge until attaining the heart of Buddhahood. In the actual three jewels, the three root sugatas, in bodhicitta, the nature of channel, wind, and essence, and in the mandala of essence, nature, and compassion, I take refuge until attaining the heart of Buddhahood. Dedication, page 115. Gyewa Diye Nirdo Dai Kencho Sumbo Drop Journey Drowa Chekchan Malupa Diye Sala Para Sho. Through the merit of this practice, may I swiftly accomplish the three jewels and establish every sentient beings without exception on their level. Okay, now to page 89, the dissolution. Namje tse ye doje tse rana ngaya pere jing zonjo tube jingam so shilin dorje naljara ma senzere ke kongboro jurne juzen pe jonda yerme chemboro sange te de dan tombe chodrunge Yeshe chembe rorba ele kamzon semche malupa. Jembe damban dambaru jezen peme yogyong se sewa ninge kelne dep. Kazam sekzam maye no jenlai toke longne ze. Samden robara ze do se. Back to page 89. When my life is at its end, my perception, the glorious colored mountain, the pure realm of Maya, indivisible from Nirmana Kaya's pure realm, and my body, Vajra Yogini, is transformed into a radiant, brilliant sphere of light. Merging inseparably with Jitsen Pema Jone, I attain Buddhahood. Then from the display of vast primordial wisdom, the miraculous manifestation of bliss and emptiness, for every single being in the three realms, let me appear as their supreme guide. Jitsen Pema, grant this so, I pray. I pray to you from the bottom of my heart. These are not just empty words. I pray that you grant your blessings from the expanse of your wisdom mind and cause all my aspirations to be fulfilled. Page 92. Lame tuka ne yazare marpo jetan che baje walge jongwa dane dorje nel joro maraswe ninga rekbai zamgi we marage gongbo shekto jurne guru rimbo che tukara tembe yerme rojek do joro. From the heart center of the Lama, a beam of light, red and warm, suddenly appears, and with myself visualized as Dorjin Nerjorma, it touches my heart, and I am instantaneously transformed into a sphere of red light, which dissolves into Guru Rinpoche's heart, and I become inseparable with him in one day. Palden zove lamai rimboche dagi ningarai peme denjula. Kajin chenboe gone jeson te koson tuke ngedroi tsendos. Palden lame nambarai tarbai lai keche tsamyan loktai migeje. Chize lek para tongwe mige ke lame jen lai sem lai jo para sho. Kewai kundu yangda lama dan dalme cheke pela long cheche. Sadan lamge yende rabzo ne. Palden lame gofa nyuro to shu. Then, once more, think of your session. How did your session go? And then if you had any kind of error or flaw in your session, then bring in mind to purify it. And then if you had good experience, then rejoice and then dedicate the merit that you have accumulated from that virtue. Okay, page 94. Jampen Powen Jindarai Kembain Don Kundo Zamboy Deyan De Jente Den Dain Gunge Jeson Daloy Chinge Wain Den Dain Tamje Rabdo De Sun Shinben Ge Wain Tamje King Ho Wai Gang Lai Chodung Akbate Dagi gewe zawa de kunja. Sangpo che che rabdo ngowarenge. Page 94. Just as the heroic Manjushri realized and Samanta too, I will train in their examples and perfectly dedicate all of these virtues. All of the conquerors of the three times in whichever way they supremely dedicate. I too will perfectly dedicate all my roots of virtue for the excellent conduct. Kandu kebe kewain tamchen du tore yenten dunden tombar sho. Kema tandu chendan trejuru che tsujen drube rangwa ye barasho. Deryan lama dambai neje chen nendan tsendu chelai che barasho. Chedo nene ningbo dendro de tsede sebe jansu gawarasho. Se baradambe cherai tenje chen shenpe rolai chonga me barasho. Labchen shende chore me baye. Tamje chamje sange tom barasho. Page 95. In all of my lifetimes, wherever I am born, may I obtain the 7 qualities of higher realms. Upon taking birth, may I immediately meet the Dharma and have the freedom to practice it perfectly. In that life, may I please the Sublime Lama and practice the Dharma day and night. Having realized the Dharma, may I accomplish the ultimate meaning of the essence. And may I cross over the ocean of worldly existence in this very life. May I thoroughly teach the sublime Dharma within the world, and never become disheartened or weary of accomplishing the benefit of others. Through working impartially for the vast benefit of others, may all sentient beings attain Buddhahood together. Om Ahum Benza Guru Pema Sindhi Hum. Om Ahum Benzang Guru Pema Sindhi Om Ahum Benzang Guru Pema Sindhi Om Ahum Benzang Guru Pema Sindhi Okay, Allahu, everybody. Another successful day of accomplishing the 100-day mind training retreat. Okay, congratulations to you all. Okay, today we got 1400. Yesterday we got 1400 too. So please keep up with the account, the accumulation. If you do more, that's well and good, but make sure that you make up whatever you were not able to accumulate just because you are slow in reciting it. I'm not a fast reciter. I like to do it slowly. Some people go very fast and they slurp, like they kind of go and then walk all the words. It's not advisable. It's not advisable to do it slowly. If you do too slow, you won't be able to accumulate in time. You don't want to accumulate too fast, meaning you don't want to accumulate, meaning you don't want to recite it too fast that you lose the consonants, like the syllables. Okay, how would you say those syllables? Yeah. So you should do it in just the perfect way. So then, if you do more, you well and good, because you'll be more, you'll be again inspired that you have done more. But don't lag, don't be behind, just catch up. Then, we all want to help each other. So please do that. And then, as we do this mind training, just remember the essence of why we are doing this is to understand, particularly here, fortunate human birth. And then pretty soon we'll be contemplating on the impermanence of life. These two are very, very important, so that we don't have any kind of distraction of this life that pursues or that kind of takes us astray from the path of Dharma. So if we contemplate on this very well, then true refuge, an absolute refuge will happen. Otherwise, then we can just consider ourselves followers of Buddha Shakyamuni, or what others call us, Buddhist and so forth, like that. But refuge doesn't really happen. So, and if refuge happens, samsara has no way to trap you. Samsara can never bind you anymore. That's the greatness of refuge, is that samsara falls loose. Samsara has no tactics anymore to bind you. So therefore we need to take refuge and practice on that. And then, even if that true renunciation or revulsion or disenchantment of samsara does not occur, just have the aspiration that let me be disenchanted, let me bring forth the understanding of samsara's nature, that there is no lasting happiness. There is nothing that actually can give, lasting happiness, or it has always betrayed us. Samsara has always betrayed us, but we have been stubborn. That's sentient beings' phenomena. That when we are kind of addicted to the suffering of samsara, that we don't want to let go. Excuse me. So yeah, we are not. It's not that we're not able to get rid of samsara, but then our attachment to our suffering, this addiction, is so strong. So that's why. So then, in the back of your mind, always keep this: that may I generate renunciation, may I generate revulsion, may I have disenchantment towards samsara, may I generate disgust of samsara, may I generate frustrations over samsara, those kind of things like that. You should think again and again in your mind. Then those thoughts become stronger and stronger like that. And then when those things happen, then, as I told you, refuge, that absolute refuge will happen, that samsara cannot lure us anymore. That is the important thing. I'll tell you a story about, there is this householder who wants to practice Dharma, but then he knows that his worldly life is distracting him. But then he can never he can never let go of his worldly life. But still he thinks, oh, one day I will be able, I will let go of this. So he's a farmer. He's actually a farmer. And then he has so much attachment to his spade, the spade that he takes, maybe called spade, I think here. You call it spade, don't you? The one that you dig the ground with for cultivation. Yeah. So he's so much attached to his spade that he can't let go, because he always wants to go to work. So then one day he hides his spade in the corner of his house. So thinking that if he doesn't see his spade, he'll not think of his work. So then he just thinks of practicing. But he knows where his spade is. He knows where his spade is. So he has this urge, he wants to go to work. So he grabs from the corner and again goes to work. But then again, while working, he's thinking, oh, I should let go of this spade. I shouldn't hold on to it. And then next day he throws his spade somewhere in the back of his house, like, I don't want to associate with this spade. But still he's practicing, but he knows where his spade is, and he goes and fetches his spade, and then he goes to work. So then further on, he thinks this is still causing obstacle in my practice. So he tosses the spade in the wood somewhere in the forest. And then he's practicing. But he knows where his spade is. Still he knows the location where he kind of threw. And he knows that, so he again goes and looks for his spade and then goes back to work like that. So his attachment is so strong that, he tries hard. Every time he tries harder, but he still wants to go back to his spade. So then one day he thinks, okay, I should abandon this spade once and for all. So he throws his spade down the cliff. As he throws his spade down the cliff, the spade flying down the cliff, and his attachment to the spade, the bond or the bondage of his spade or bondage of his attachment to the spade, as the spade falls down to the cliff, his attachment is gone. His attachment is completely, now he has no attachment whatsoever, that he knows he'll never be able to find his spade anymore. So then his obstacle to his practice is gone. So he becomes a very good practitioner. So like that, we all have our samsaric habit, but we should all work toward it. It's not that we won't be able to give up. We will be able to do it. So think like that, and then do your mind training, okay? Okay. That's all for me to say for today. You have any questions? No questions? That's good.
Kempola, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sure you guys already talked about this, but how bad is coffee, or I guess caffeine, for the practice?
It's okay. You can drink coffee to stay awake. That's fine.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fine. If it helps you stay awake, then surely you can have coffee. It doesn't, you should be skillful. That's, and if it helps you, then you should use it to stay. And then, and also you should kind of train your body that it can stay awake without having to use coffee, without relying on coffee. So that way, then you are using your natural ability or natural, your own elements, or your own, elements is the right thing, meaning your own composition of your body to remain focused, awake, like that. So we don't need any kind of substance to rely. So for in the beginning, then it's okay. As long as you're not addicted, or it's fine.
so it is okay, but it's just it's better not to. I mean, if we can, that's what.
Caffeine is not really good for your body because there are so many levels that it actually causes harm. So many different levels. The first thing is that you're not able to retain your natural heat of your body. The coffee dissipates your heat of your body. So that's why I guess it's just because we all have different elemental builds. So we cannot really say coffee is bad. We cannot say coffee is good, because that's the teaching of Buddha Shakyamuni, that nothing in this world can be ruled out as good and bad. So that we need to understand. So caffeine, if you think it's helpful, that's okay. If it's destructive, then it's not okay. So like that. But main thing is, when you're meditating or when you're practicing, you need to contain your heat. You need to keep your body. So this position that we are sitting like this is the best position to retain or to keep your heat, and then all the bodily elements are in harmony in this way. It's like, it is as if like in an infinite knot. So the energies are constantly, it's not blocked, but it's constantly in harmony, and it's free flowing like that. So these are what the lamas have taught us, that we need to sit in this way. And if you're sitting on a chair, if you cannot sit like this, if you are sitting on a chair, and you should try to keep your knees as close as possible, and then always keep your like your palms on top of your knees like that. That's the reason why we need to kind of sit in one posture and not move a lot. So that's the reason. So caffeine kind of does, it kind of cools your body. It dissipates your heat of your body. So that's the reason why I was saying is not to use too much. But maybe if you have too much heat in your body, then coffee might then bring your heat down and then kind of normalize or balance that. Then in that case, it's fine. So if you have too much heat, then again, you won't be able to sit in meditation. Then and during that time, then you can remove your clothing. So kind of use lighter clothing like that. And then, but again, you don't want to let your, like if your arms are outside and then now you start to feel cold from outside, and then you understand what I'm saying, like it's then the sensation kind of disturbs you, that you don't want to practice, or you're not able to focus. But when you're in just that right experience, or whatever you want to call, what right sensation, where there's not so much heat, where you're not too cold, then you can sit for long. That's you experience that. You can tell on your own. You can. So that's why the lamas tell us to sit in the right posture, and then also observe our diet habits. And in the retreat and so forth, they don't eat a lot of food. So if you eat a lot, then you feel uneasy and you feel lousy and you feel drowsy and you feel sleepy like that. So you have to kind of take care of your bowels or your diet, what you eat and so forth. You don't want to eat too much beans, then you have a lot of gas in your body, and then you fart, or you kind of lose gas. That's not good, because see, again, you're not retaining the energy of your body, meaning you're not retaining. So that fart is also, we would say, air. So it's leaving from your body. It's not good. So heat, if you lose heat, it's not good. If you bring too much, if you again develop too much wind in your body, so say you drank too much caffeine and so forth, then it kind of, I was telling you that coffee, what it does is it kind of cools your body. And we need cold, some kind of cold, because we already have fire, water, and wind are already there in our body. So this fire and water, they need to balance. If they're in harmony, and likewise, if the wind is in harmony with fire and water, then it keeps your body cool, meaning it keeps your body in just the right pose, or right pose. And these, when your body is in that state, then it helps your mind. Then your mind is focused. That's why in the teaching it says, when you bring those conditions of your body, then realization dawns in your mind. So now if you your heat was too much, but now you are trying to bring your heat down with coffee. And then if it becomes too cold, then that coldness will stir the wind. And then when the wind starts to blow, then your coldness will become, it will be not just water, but it will start to freeze. So when it starts to freeze, it's not good. And then your wind enters your brain, and then you'll go, your mind will be distracted. So these are what we need to learn. What you have to observe your own bodily elements. We all are different. We all have different elements, meaning we have different percentage of our elements. That's why we look different. And we just call ourselves human beings, but we all have different element bills. And related with that one, then we also have bodily complications, or like we say, sickness or illness and so forth like that. So when you're meditating, we cannot rule out saying this is good or that's bad, those kind of thing. It solely depends on what is helping your body. As long as you can sit nicely, if it helps, if coffee helps you to sit calm, and then it kind of helps your mind focus, then why not use it? But if you think that it kind of disturbs your energy, it stirs too much of your thoughts and so forth, then you need to reduce it. You need to kind of control it. So that's the reason. Otherwise I didn't mean anything else other than that. So,
Campo,
Thank you.
I've been reading a lot of books by doctors about avoiding the major diseases that Americans die of: diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and also about blood sugar. And the thing about coffee, and I notice I love coffee, it will wake me up, but then within an hour or so, my blood sugar drops and I feel more tired than before I had the coffee. And I was reading in the Sharmapa's book on 7 points of mind training. He says having caffeine, having black tea is fine, but that coffee does that thing to your body that I just described. He said, it first gives you energy and then your energy drops out. Your blood sugar cycles so rapidly that you have less concentration than you hope the coffee would generate.
mm-hmm.
So
yeah, so that's the same thing I'm saying. So
it is, but other kinds of caffeine are more stabilizing, like green tea and black tea, for example, than coffee. And I love coffee. It's like my favorite thing. And I'm trying to generate non-attachment to it and have less and less.
I like the smell of coffee, but I drink once in a while. So
And then I have a question about
people say that when you drink coffee, it keeps you awake and so forth. For me, I cannot see the difference. Even if I drink coffee, I will go to sleep. Even if I drink coffee, then it doesn't keep me awake.
either.
I tried.
I feel the same way. I find black tea keeps me more awake than coffee if I have it at night.
Same thing with me. Coffee, tea, I can drink coffee, I can drink tea and still go to sleep.
And I ask you about the sitting posture. My right, hip or knee, after on the right side, and or what I have to let that leg go a bit. And sometimes if I like put a little pillow under my right knee or even under my left, because if it's under my left, then my left leg isn't, putting that pressure on my right thigh that makes my makes that side like have to get a cramp. So what can I do? And I do yoga, but I just have that problem after like an hour or so.
Yeah, sure. Whatever helps, you can do that. You can wedge, you can strap, you can do whatever you want to do to help you stay in posture. In our lineage, we have one lama, Pang Mipam Gombo. Pang Mipam Gombo. He was, I think, when he met Vero Channa, he was 80, 90, even more than that. I don't remember exactly. But Vero Channa is Dzogchen master. He is a student of Guru Rinpoche, and then he's renowned for his realization. And, Vero Channa is also a translator. So, and Pang Mipam Gombo is somewhere, I don't know the Tibetan province, but anyway, he's somewhere not in central Tibet. He is somewhere outside. If you had to look in the Tibetan map. So Vero Channa is located somewhere in central Tibet, so near the, near Lhasa or Samye. So a monk comes to his place one evening, and then this monk wants to take shelter, and then says, could I stay in your place? And then he says yes. So he offers him bed and breakfast and all this, dinner and so forth. And then the next morning, Pang Mipam Gombo asks him, where are you going? Then he says, I'm going to a different direction. And where did you come from? And I came from central Tibet. And then Pang Mipam Gombo says, why do you have to go there? You should go to central Tibet. In central Tibet, there is this great master, Vairochana. You should, why do you go away from that? You should seek Vairochana. And then the person who stayed the night in his house is Vairochana. So then he says, I'm Vairochana. And then Pang Mipam Gompo, in the story, it's called, he actually grabbed him for a few days. He didn't let him go. He just grabbed him by his, I don't know, he hugged him or whatever he did. Like he said, like, oh, are you kidding me? Like, am I dreaming? Because he was so old that he couldn't take himself to central Tibet. He couldn't walk. So it was, Vairochana coming to his own house. So then he was like, am I dreaming? And then, yes, he said, I'm Vairochana. And then, Vairochana knew that he was that kind of person who had devotion. And then Vairochana gave the transmission to him, and transmission, as he was transmitted, the realization dawned. Pang Mipam Gompo is considered of that higher caliber. We talk about beings of different levels. Pang Mipam Gompo is considered to be of that highest caliber, because as soon as the teachings were given, the realization just dawned in him. So then, in order for him to keep on practicing, since he was old, then he had to strap himself. He had meditation belt strapped him, and then he had like sticks supporting his chin up, like on this thing. He was wedged from left and right, and it's in the teachings that he's depicted. Pang Mipam Gompo is depicted with a stick on his chin, like a wooden stick, and so that he could
neck brace.
his body could sit straight to do the practice. So yes, now for us, we have to do whatever helps you. You know, you have to wedge yourself, strap yourself.
I could use my yoga strap.
You can do. The other day when we were talking about prostrations, I was saying, yeah, you can have bungee rope. Bungee rope, or you can have metal springs or whatever.
When do we start prostrations, Kempo?
Tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. You better have your bungee rope ready. I'm kidding. We still have some time to go, but if you want to do, you can do too. The mind training, we're still on the outer mind training, which is like 62 days or 63 days. And then the inner mind training is about 44, or I don't remember exactly that one we have. You can tell from the calendar like that. So the prostrations is usually done in the inner mind training. But as I mentioned, that we want to make it so that by the time we finish our mind training, we want to finish the prostrations and all of those. So we'll integrate all of those slowly by slowly.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, anybody else? You go to dollar store, they have a lot of bungee rope.
Oh, Kempo, I have one other question. When I was looking at reading, through the text with you today, I noticed that some of my pages didn't correspond. So I'm using
Your old version, yeah. You're using your old version, I guess.
Well, the one from a week ago, I guess.
If you have your OneDraw text, if you have 139, or let's see,
I have 135.
Yeah, this includes the last page, and then there are the title page and table of contents. Altogether is 139, but yeah, the 135 is that one. So you have the recent copy, so you should be with us.
Okay.
That's
then
the same one.
This dumb question. I have no one else to ask. How do I delete the other two from my desktop on my iPad?
There's always that 3 button you have to press, and then the 3 buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah, click that 3 buttons, and then you'll kind of see remove or delete or whatever like that. Yeah, do that one. Okay, so everybody stay well, then do your part. Like today, I told you we did 1400. Yesterday, I forgot to announce. It's 1400 yesterday too. So okay, and then stay well. Okay, and have a good day. Tashi Dalek. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye now. Okay.